Hello, my lovelies. Tonight, we've got something really special. This is my twin flame, Robbie.
Hey, everybody.
Okay, so I asked him to do something I've wanted to do for a while, and that was an interview. I have 26 questions that I had during our separation, and I know that a lot of you are going through this right now. So we're finally going to see, what are the male energies thinking when they're gone or when they're on the other side? What the was all of this? So with that...
I don't even know yet.
Yeah, and he's never heard any of these questions before, so this is all going to be action live. All right. So, the first thing. The first time I ever met you, you sat in my chair for makeup. I asked you about your eye. What did you think of me on your first impression of me, if you can remember?
Well, it is hard to remember because that was like 2.5 years ago.
It's fine.
But I remember thinking you're cute. And I had a girlfriend at the time, and I remember telling myself, I can't flirt because you're cute. I get myself in trouble.
And he was very rude, by the way. He was like the opposite of flirt. He was like completely like, nah. And I was like, oh, are you taken, sir? And he's like, nah. And I was like, oh. And then we straight up didn't talk for a year. Like, yeah. Okay. Next year that we saw each other was a whole year later. It was at a smoking circle at Hobbs.
Yeah, I remember when you walked up.
Upon seeing me for the first time the next year, what was your impression of me then?
Well, I was single, so my mindset was completely different. Like, to be frank, utterly different, you know. And then you walked up, I was like, cool, cute girl's gonna smoke a bowl with me. And then I proceeded to pack hella bowls. I'm just, if you don't know that now, you do, I guess.
Avid marijuana smokers, so that's okay. Okay. When did you know you were interested in me?
That moment for sure. I was already kind of like, I thought you were cute and stuff. But then I knew I wanted to pursue you like that night.
Okay, so this is like second like interaction we're talking about in reality, because me and him really didn't know each other, and this was a seasonal thing, so we weren't having a lot of interaction. So those of you who were wondering, is an impulse like you just meet this person and you automatically want to be with them at that point in time, like, you know, or pursue some sort of relationship with them, that is actually pretty normal. And actually, the very next day, I went and extended the olive leaf or olive branch, and Facebook messaged him, and it ended up being a political conversation. I don't give a crap about politics, just so you all know.
I'm obsessed with that and theology. Those are my two obsessions.
What set me apart from other people?
Other than everything, I don't know. You just like had this way about you. Like you had this confidence. Whether you thought you had it or not, that was another question. But you had like this confidence, this air about you that was really cute. And then like I just thought you were like gorgeous in the beginning, and you were super nice to me. And like I don't know. It just went well.
Thank you.
And then I thought she was, I mean, like, I will iterate how gorgeous I think this woman is.
You sent me a song, The Nurse Who Loved Me. Did you know what an impact that would have had?
No. I didn't know the impact. I had a message to send. I sent it.
What was your intended message then?
That, like, you're the girl that heals people, like, and you love me. I could feel like you liked me. And
this is like day like 3.
Oh no, I just felt like you liked me. And she sells doTERRA. You should buy it. It works.
Thanks.
Frankincense is my favorite. If that question's later, I just ruined it. But I mean, frankincense is my favorite. Buy it. Oh my gosh. No, but Well,
No, you're
the
good.
nurse who loved me. Are we still on that?
No, you covered it. You
Okay.
did. Yeah, you're
All right.
good. When did you know you actually had deeper feelings for me? Like, not just, oh, she's pretty cool, but that, like, oh shit, I might be in trouble.
Probably the second date. Like, not when I took you to nature the first time, but like when we hung out that next day after that. Like, after we had like an official date, and like we went to nature, and then we didn't do anything for a couple days, I think, and because she's a hot commodity, I had to win, and I won. You know, I think you all know what I'm saying. Like,
I literally went on one other date because I knew that I already only wanted to date him, and I was like, oh man, I've had nothing but long-term relationships in my life, so I didn't want to jump into another long-term relationship. And at the time, I just figured it would be another long-term relationship. I didn't know it was the long-term relationship, as it were. So I did. I went on one other date, but I knew from it. I was like, nah. Well, I think we kind of already went over this a little bit, but what was it like to be with me? / how did you feel when we were like together?
now or when?
Well, I mean now.
Both,
yeah.
like in the beginning and now.
Yeah.
In the beginning, it was like a kind of like an adventure because I was learning things new about you every day. I mean, I still learn things. I guess I could answer both questions at the same time. I still learn new things about you every day. It's still an adventure. I thought you were kind of wild in the beginning, and I didn't know what to do with you. But then I realized I'm not supposed to do anything. Just let you happen. And she's not bad.
No, I like to get into trouble, I guess. I like to do stuff.
She's I don't know. I was going through like a reclusive time for a little while, and she's the opposite. So
I'm a chosen extrovert, though. I'm an introvert by nature.
I'm the opposite of that. I'm used to be an extrovert. I chose to be an introvert.
Okay, so this is a major question right now.
Uh-oh.
There were a lot of contributing factors during our breakup. Some people know them, and I think we have other videos on that, or if not, they're coming up. Not including our outside problems that made you drop me like a hot rock. What was it that made you drop me like a hot rock? Like, we already know, and for you guys that don't know, so I told you...
You want me to be 100% honest?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I have other clients who are like me and who did the same things that I did and had the same past hurts, problems, and tendencies. And we're honest. I'm honest with you guys, right? I let you know about my past, so...
Well, she said a thing that kind of struck me the wrong way. We'd been kind of fighting already. Our first fights, you know. Everything been peaceful for like quite some time, and then we started getting kind of tense. I think like the normal beginning of the relationship crap, where you realize you're both human and you're different. You know what I mean? You're not the same because you thought you were the same because you have all this stuff in common, but then obviously it's not the same person you're looking at as you know. And then basically...
Go ahead and talk about the suicide. Okay.
We got into a discussion. I'm a musician, and she had seen that my career takes off eventually in some fashion. She didn't tell me which, but she told me in some fashion eventually, and that that she would feel alone when I went and toured without her inside, and that she'd probably end up killing herself. And I ran like a fucking dog that just got bit in the ass by another dog.
He really did. And I was very much confused because I thought, well, this person who tells me all these amazing things every day, how could they just leave me right then? But I mean,
it's both. I mean, we were already fighting, and it was the peaceful thing. We were going through the weird... Like, we had the weird, like, shot in the ass by Cupid's arrow. Like, we're both like, whoo, all the time. And then real life started to kind of happen. And then I overreacted to when I should have just been supportive, I think.
Can we touch on the mirroring effect about the fact that you have similar problems as
I have.
I have.
I have like severe depression. I've been diagnosed with melancholy disorder, which is kind of a worse disease in my opinion than depression in itself, because my normal state isn't happy or sad. It's like this weird blah, and then I get happy sometimes, and I get hella sad. Like, I get my version of sad, like when you get a little sad, that's melancholy. Like, you're kind of blah about the situation. That's how I feel all the time. So my base is like what a lot of people's kind of semi-upset is. So my shit's like all off kilter sometimes. I'm pretty good for the most part, but then there's like, like everybody has issues, you know.
And I actually have gone through that my entire life too. I've struggled with depression, anxiety, panic attacks, really severe anger where, I mean, things would just completely flare me up. I think part of that's because I'm like little and always been poor, so it's like you don't feel like you have a lot of control over things. So when I was going ahead and doing my past behaviors, I don't try to hurt myself, kill myself, anything like that anymore for a long time, thank God. But I did use that as a threat for many, many years, and it was an intention because I feel like death didn't mean the same to me because of all the people that I had loved and lost and things like that.
My best friend had killed himself when I was younger, and my current best friend have saved him from killing himself physically like 3 times.
So can you see how I triggered him on that? And I know some of you are struggling with things like that, and I had no intention on actually hurting myself, but the fact that I had in the past and the fact that I had used it pretty much as a weapon, like I was feeling down and I didn't realize it was a weapon, but it turned out that that's what it was. And he didn't know how to handle it, so we're like toppling, my past behaviors with his past traumas, and it just...
Hindsight's 20/20. I should have, instead of just running and being pissed off, and then I'm guessing we're going into the other stuff later, of how I acted and why I acted, I guess, I would assume, since we're going into this. So, but like, where was I going?
You're talking about how if you had been in a situation that
how I would handle it.
Maybe you'd act differently. But I'd like to admit, I do not, I'm not upset about that at all. If he had not left, I would not be here talking to you guys right now today, because I would have never made that final change. I would have never been open about who I am as a mystic. I never would have pushed myself to talk to people. I wouldn't have found out about what twin flames were. None of that, because part of what pushed me to do all this is because I couldn't get this guy off my mind, and I tried to do the normal stuff that girls do when they get broken up with, but none of it helped. So I personally thank you very much. You actually saved me in more ways than you ever could know.
Hindsight is 20/20, though. I'll just say it. I would have probably, instead of running, just tried to be more supportive, and then explain to you as calmly as possible what I'd been through, and it probably still would have sucked for a second, but then it wouldn't have been what we went through.
Well, I have another one for you now. Was leaving me easy?
No.
After the breakup, did you think of me?
Every day.
Like often every day, or just like, it was just like randomly one time,
I have ADHD. If anybody's heard the allegory for ADHD, a normal brain's one TV that you have the remote control in your hand, you control it, right? ADD is one TV that randomly changes channel every couple minutes. ADHD is 8 TVs or more that randomly change channel every minutes. One of those TVs is always Shaenna.
Yay!
Always.
Always Shaenna all the time.
It's terrifying.
It sounds terrifying. Did you ever regret your choice?
Yeah.
And then I guess you just answer this, but like there were times where you were minding your own business, like actively trying to do something to occupy your mind, and I just kind of popped in.
Yeah. And then I will shout out to our friends, because a lot of them called me stupid a lot.
I will say this. I actively, when I was feeling like really going through it, I would actively try to meditate positive things to him and have him. I would like try to picture him smiling, and I'd like picture like I like to like cuddle up on his arm and stuff, and I'd picture this, or I like to like pet his beard, and I'd like
stop, come back.
But I like to do that kind of stuff, and so I would like imagine doing it kind of. So I tell you guys to do positive I tell you guys, still got a show to do, honey, to do positive meditation. And I really did. When you've got those feelings of love and you're truly sending it to that person, they can feel it. Okay. Did you ever experience signs from the universe that literally showed you me? Examples like certain colors or songs or smells, numbers, objects, animals. It just for whatever reason. Like, I guess for mine, I'm like, what, glitter and fairies and things.
Music. Music kept reminding me of you. Music. And even it was the radio, shuffle, anything. I would either get like a bunch of A Perfect Circle songs talking about love, like Branya, or Sleeping Beauty, or Nurse Who Loves Me, and all those songs made me think of you. Or, as you know, there's a Highly Suspect song that I would highly recommend to all your listeners. This is how I legit felt for a little while, called Little One, and I felt like I had pushed her away, especially near the end, and that she was my only friend, but then I still was trying to convince myself it was necessary for a minute, but then I missed her really bad at the same time.
I love you.
I love you too.
Thank you for doing this, by the way. You're awesome. I'm sure everybody at home is just like, woo, right? Big hand.
There and then there.
Okay, thank you. During our time apart, did you date? And what was your experience with that? Did you feel connections? How did it make you feel? Was kissing different, holding hands, etc.?
No.
Just straight up, no, you actually didn't?
I made Tinder, and I got matches, and then I never hit anybody up. I made a POF, I had matches, and then never did anything about it. And then I didn't feel right.
And I did the opposite. I tried to date people, and
I don't blame her. I was every time she'd message me anything, I would purposely, like, no matter what it was, like, she'd be like, we need to talk, blah blah blah. I'd be like, LOL, okay, or something.
He was being an asshole. He was being a complete dick. And all of his friends were saying we don't know what's wrong with him, but he'd just move on. But he's stupid. He lost the best thing ever. And I tried to date, and I even slept with a couple people, and I did, like, I mean, they were really good to me. They took me places, they spent money on me, whatever I wanted, but there was absolutely no connection. When they would hold my hand would my mind would think of his hand, and I would either get grossed out and get away from them, or I would just, like, let myself use their body and pretend I was holding his hand, and I'd straight up use them for manifestation. Or, like, if, I don't know, I got to the point where I decided I could not sleep with anybody, because if I tried to, it made me feel completely dirty, like I was cheating on him. And even though he didn't want nothing to do with me, as far as I knew, I just couldn't do it. I did try, though, because it was a way, it was like if they tell you the stove is hot, don't touch the stove, you're gonna be like, I don't know, the stove is hot. If you touch the stove, you find out the stove is hot yourself, you know not to touch it. Okay. How long until you admitted to yourself that you still loved me?
I don't think I never stopped or thought I did.
Okay. Did you ever check my life out on Facebook or other social media?
Oh, yeah, like a fucking creeper.
Like a creeper? Because he made no attempts. I never thought he would even looking at all, honestly. It didn't feel like it. I even posted.
I hit her up for frankincense.
Yeah, that's... And
And then kind of for a booty call. I mean...
You guys know about some of that. You know what I did with that situation.
My intention was already there. Like, I'm a horrible individual.
The frankincense thing, that was a long time until he hit me up with that. But I actually made intentional posts to try to trigger him to get to write to me. And I did intentional posts to try to trigger him to get to write me.
No, I saw that shit and I read it because I realized what it was. No, because you totally made like an offhand political post, and I was like,
yeah, because he doesn't respond to anything. So I thought, well, here's the thing: if I write a political post, maybe he'll get. That was the only thing he ever responded to. And I was just really satisfied. And I pissed a lot of people off. I didn't even care about the response of what the political issue was. I just knew that was my only way to getting him to post.
I think I ended up trolling another post.
I lost a friend because of that post. And I just was like,
pretty positive.
Yeah, okay. So,
or that post.
How did it make you feel to think or feel and see me, but not actually be in my life?
It was hard. It was hard. I think that's pretty much how I could explain it.
That's fine. We only got a couple more questions here. The first time I ever met you, oh wait, was that it? Was that it? Did we done? Wait, hold on. Oh no, I'm dyslexic and I turned the wrong page. That's what happened right there. I just went to number 1 again. Okay. Still only a couple questions. During our time apart, did you make self-improvements?
Yeah. I'm in school. I was already talking about doing school. And I think I, signed up. Did I sign up yet?
You were signed up and you had gone to orientation.
Yeah. And then, but school... pushing music a little bit more. I don't know, just affirming stuff I was already doing, but pushing it harder. And then I don't know, I feel like I'm a little bit more emotionally stable than I was. More self-reliant.
That's very good. Thank you. What was your turning point for you?
What do you mean by that?
I guess the point where you decided, I'm going to ask her for frankincense.
Well, I missed you. I was out of frankincense and I'm obsessed. Those are the two
So he
primary...
did use me for frankincense.
A little bit. And then I kind of wanted inside you a little bit. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I was hoping
I'm sorry for them.
Nah, it's okay.
You guys. Sorry to you.
They're happy for
me. She's probably ecstatic about that.
They're happy for me. When did you decide that you wanted to try again with me? I guess we just said that. Okay, so the frankincense era. Or was that about it? Or did you know for a while?
No, I was testing the waters. I didn't even know.
Oh, okay. So when did you know that you wanted to try again with me?
Because, I was testing myself. Because I was seeing... That first time was also seeing if I could shut it off.
What do you mean shut it off?
My love for you, kind of. If I could see you as just a friend. That's what... I think I remember even saying something about...
You were very adamant that we could only be friends and we could not date and friends, no relationship.
I was trying to tell that to myself, I think, not you.
Yeah, I figured it out after the third time you hit me up in a row and you're like, but this isn't a date, and I'm thinking, this is a fucking date. Okay. We even said it at one point in time. I'm like, you happen to know that technically coming and eating with me and screwing with me every now and then is considered a date? And he's like, anyways, that was really good. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. We literally have 5 more questions. Okay. When we first started talking and dating, you refused to call it a date, even though it clearly was what was going on there. And I guess you just...
Cuckoo, that's what's going on in here. Just kidding. No.
It was just you were trying to convince yourself it could only be friends?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was trying to make myself... She's my friend, but then I'm banging her, and I totally still have feelings for her, and she still obviously has feelings for me, but I was still going, she's my friend.
Oh, then this comes up to the next one. This was a really big one for me. I beeped up at one point and I told you I love you, and you froze, and you asked me never to say it again, and it broke my heart. A lot of twins have this experience. What was going on there? We had literally just made love, and I was like, you dumbass, I love you so much. And I said it like just about like that, and he literally was like, please don't ever say that again. And he got up and he left, and I didn't hear from him for like a long time.
Well, it's because I love you.
Okay. So it just scared him, I guess. Which is fear. Like, we say that fear is usually a big part of it. So at some point I brought up twin flames and what they are, but never truly came out and said that you were mine until a week after or so. What was your first impression on twin flames?
Oh.
Did you believe? You don't remember saying like this was crap, or?
I don't know what I think about it still. I don't think.
That's important. Okay. Or two more questions. Let's see. Now that we're all out in the open and together, how are you feeling for the future?
Pretty dope. Looks like it's gonna be fun.
Wow, that is so vague.
No, it's not. I'm being real. It's gonna be fun.
I like your.
It sounds like it's gonna be dope. Like, why is that?
No, I guess.
How is that fake?
I guess I did not fake.
You're
vague.
a punk.
I am a punk.
She's a punk, guys.
All right. Well,
I might look like one. She actually is one. It's.
And I love my punk. So, the last thing I would like to ask is there anything that you would like to add about any of this?
That I think I believe in fairy tales.
Beauty and the Beast. No, I'm just kidding. You guys know.
One of these. Mind that.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Being Patreon supporters is amazing. This is what gets to keep us going. And we get this get extra eyeball footage. You guys get to see a little bit behind the scenes. If there are videos you guys would like to know about, questions you have, please PM me. Always down for that. And I love you guys so much. Have the best night ever.
Bye-bye.
Bye.